Can I get a depth check? Back. Perfect. Yeah.
Are you actually getting stronger? What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here. No clickbait in this video today. I mean what I say in the video. We're going to talk about taking a standardized approach when it comes to training. How do we know we're actually getting stronger? You would assume that if the weight goes up, it's a PR, baby. But let me give you a scenario right here. And this is going to apply not just to beginners, because people think, oh yeah, beginners do this all the time. Nah, man, I'm talking about intermediates, advanced lifters. I'm talking about myself. I've been guilty of this. I got to come clean before the audience, before the cult, the iron cult. Let me give you a scenario here. You're squatting, you want to hit a PR, things are feeling pretty good, but unbeknownst to you, maybe you're filming it, maybe you actually do know about it, your squat depth, it's higher. So you hit a PR, but wait a second, you're now 2 to 3 inches higher. So you hit an absolute PR, but once again, depth wasn't there. Is it actually a PR? Now that's up for debate, and we could kind of have that paralysis by analysis. We could do what they call MMA math, was to carry the one. We do these mental gymnastics, like, yeah, I think come meet day, I will be able to squat to depth. But if we're being honest with ourselves, and that's why I think transparency is very important, we need to be able to assess things to a certain standard. I'm not saying you need to rigorously adhere to the IPF standard if you're a powerlifter, right? You might have your own standards when it comes to the gym. So a touch and go bench might be viable for you. That might be how you judge things. But however, this is the rule, however you judge things, you have to adhere to it and you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to be honest with your lifting, because really you're just holding yourself back. And we could give so many different scenarios. So the obvious one that people will talk about will be squat depth, right? So maybe as the weight gets heavier, subconsciously it's like, shit man, this is kind of heavy. We cut depth to make it easier. And a lot of times in ways, even when we don't think about it, we'll try to do that. That pause, we're supposed to go for a 3-second pause count. That was like a 1.5 second. And so really, you want to be able to compare a lift to another lift under the same set of rules. And that's what we should all hope to do. And it's however you set it. And I do think there is a range. So let's say on the squat, and we'll use this example, and then we'll give a ton of other examples. Let's say there's a minimum threshold that you judge your squat depth. Let's say it's to parallel. So you want to make sure you're hitting at least parallel. You hit parallel, you're good to go. And there might be a range. So when you hit 470 pounds, you might have sunk that sucker and it's, 2 to 3 inches below parallel when you view it from the same angle, when you videotape yourself, cool. And then when you hit 500 pounds, it's basically parallel. So it's maybe parallel, a little bit below. So yes, it's not quite as low, but it's still acceptable under your standardized approach, under your rules that you've set for yourself. But you need to make sure you stick with this. And I've seen so many examples of this. You use a stiff bar normally, and then you use a deadlift bar, and then the weights change. You might be able to hit a little bit more weight. You go from using maybe, comp plates to using plates at the gym that they're plastic plates, and maybe they might not be 45 pounds. On the overhead press, maybe you're no longer, as the weight gets heavier, you're no longer locking it out. So you think to yourself, yeah, man, I'm locking it all the way. I'm like, nah, you're saving that energy. You're only going 3/4 of the way up. Is that the same as a full range of motion overhead press? So again, the rule of thumb, and that's where filming yourself and having individuals that hold you accountable. So a training team or a group or maybe a coach where it's like, you know what, that wasn't depth. You didn't pause that long enough. On that deadlift, do you lock it out? Because the excuse, oh, I'll do that come meet day, or I know I had that. It's like, but you didn't do it. And again, we all have to hold ourselves accountable. I've been guilty of this on the bench press, on a variety of different lifts where I'll think to myself, yeah, it's basically there. If you have to kind of somehow justify it to yourself, your lift, likely there was some discrepancy. And again, we don't want to get caught up in the minute details like, oh, was it really to depth? It's like, it should be fairly obvious, whatever standard you set for yourself. But it should be a standard that you set and you hope, once again, to adhere to, even on accessory movements. So on the bicep curl, I mean, we only need to take a look at boys in the gym where you see the bicep curl, the weight gets a little bit heavier and what goes on? A little bit momentum. And again, we don't have to have this strict, perfect form, but whatever the standard, whatever rule you set for yourself, stick with your own damn rule. And that's something that I'm trying to do, something that I think intermediate and advanced lifters should be able to do. And if you don't plan on competing, so if you don't plan on having an objective standardized approach outside of you, right? So you have judges, and again, there is some subjectivity because the judge is a person after all, but overall, as you do repeated meets, there is an approach where you'll have a predictable outcome. Yeah, you're pausing roughly a second. If you don't plan on having that objective analysis outside of your own lifting, then you kind of have to put it on yourself. So just keep yourself honest and make sure that you're comparing apples to apples and not apples to high squat. because that's not what we're about around here. And for me now, especially because, yeah, your boy, I'm getting a little stronger, okay? Weights are moving up. I want to make sure I'm comparing my previous PRs to what I hope to hit. So the same thing. That's all I want to talk about. Are you actually getting stronger? Or are you just rounding the corners looking for a shortcut? Let's hold ourselves accountable. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, Severin, what are they waiting for? Are they liking the video?
I don't know, man. They're letting us down.
I don't know about you, man. Are you liking the video? Like the damn video. And I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Severin, I just want to say, they're not letting us down. They're letting themselves down. You see that one? You see what I'm saying?
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.